Hello, this is Anlineoffline. Welcome back to another casual's quick guide to Call of Duty Mobile. For today's video, we'll be covering the HG40. Unlocked at level 13, the HG40 is an automatic SMG from Black Ops 3. However, our version is much more sci-fi. In Black Ops 3, it was locked behind supply drops, but more closely resembled a proper MP40, which has appeared in all World War II games and Advanced Warfare. Early submachine guns were heavy, complex, and expensive. Late into World War I, Hugo Schmeisser of Germany arguably developed the first for the Sturmtruppen to clear enemy trenches. Previous attempts to convert the Luger into automatic machine pistols proved uncontrollable and inaccurate. Schmeisser's MD-18's military use was brief, but left a lasting enough impression for the Treaty of Versailles to ban the German military from having them. After World War I, the design was upgraded with new box magazines for police and export. Various other interwar designs inspired by the MP-18 sprang up, such as those by Heinrich Vollmer, who the Weimar Republic secretly funded until the Great Depression. When the Nazis took power and defied the Treaty of Versailles, they wanted a new SMG that would lead their new squad doctrine. Vollmer sold the rights to his designs to the Irma Company, and a finalized design was selected as the MP-38. After World War II broke out, it was determined that it needed to be streamlined for mass production. Thus the MP-40 used stamped parts instead of milled. Neither as numerous as the Kar 98K, nor central as the MG42, the MP-40 still spread terror throughout Europe. He was referred to as the Schmeisser by the Allies, but he himself had little to do with the design aside from using his patented magazines. He did design the MP-41 for the police and SS, but that got cease and desisted by Irma, and he was more focused on designing the first assault rifle. The MP-40/1 was a dual-mag prototype designed to compete against entire platoons of Soviet PPSHs, but this was unreliable and never adopted. When the Third Reich fell, many MP-40s were confiscated by the Allies and handed down to the developing world before being phased out by later SMGs. Now it's a staple of World War II media. Back to Call of Duty. Base damage per shot is moderate, killing in 4 shots in close range, before dropping to 5 and 6. The fire rate is tied with the FR556 at 667 rounds per minute. The base effective range is 25 meters and is hit scan. Up close, the time to kill is slow. At close to mid, it's solid. At mid range, it's slow. At long range, it's average. Headshots are 50% extra damage, and just one can achieve a fast 3-shot potential in its first range. Elsewhere, you need multiple. The chest is 20% extra, biceps are 15% extra, and the forearms are 10% extra. Unfortunately, none of these will shorten your time to kill without also mixing in headshots. In terms of mobility, the HG40 is tied with the PPSH and MX9 for the slowest base movement in the SMG class. The ADS speed is between that of an average AR and SMG. Luckily, its printout is on par with pistols. The base mag size is slightly larger than most at 32 rounds, and can be extended to 40 or 45. In my opinion, the biggest flaw of the HG40 is its reload cancel animation. When empty, you have to wait a few frames after you let go of the inserted mag for it to count. When not empty, you have to wait until the last frame before you let go. By then, you may as well not bother cancelling. As for accuracy, the ADS bloom is average for an SMG, but subpar for long-range fights. Fortunately, the initial spread is solid and better than most SMGs. The fire spread is the second best for its class, only slightly behind the recently buffed Lapa, but other SMGs do have slightly better initial spreads. In my opinion, the iron sights are clean. If the muzzle flash bothers you, I suggest using a suppressor. The recoil is one of the simplest to control. Combined with its initial bloom spread, this is an easy gun to burst fire for long shots. In Call of Duty, the MP40 has historically been a high damage, slow firing weapon with high recoil. He could infamously 2-tap with stopping power in the console version of World at War. Advanced Warfare had an unrealistic fire rate and absurd damage that could compete with the Bal 27 if it weren't locked behind supply drops. Despite our HG coming from Black Ops 3, it's statistically more similar to World War II, but with easier recoil. At Mobile's launch, our HG40 was not a good gun. It had the easiest and most consistent recoil for an SMG, but its original fire rate matched its Black Ops 3 counterpart, and killed too slow compared to the MSMC, PDW, and AKS or RUS. With the advent of Gunsmith, the HG40 peaked in popularity. The damage was adjusted, and its fire rate was increased to what it is today. Its electro multipliers weren't kneecapped like other SMGs, so it could out-hipfire them. While the addition of Bloom held back many guns, the HG was unbothered as it had one of the best of its time and matched most of today's ARs. However, this only lasted one season, and was severely nerfed, especially in regards to its multipliers. A slow, short, 4-shot time to kill is one thing, but it's another to make it inconsistent. As a result, slow 3-shot ARs took over much of late 2020 and early 2021, and the GKS took its place. Early 2021 saw SMGs speed up the pace of the game. The HG got a new headshot multiplier and adjusted range values, but like the GKS, the HG lost much of its bloom and became average for the time. Worst of all, it was overshadowed by the new Bizon, which did what the Prime HG used to do, but with double the mag size and could take advantage of the new strafing meta. Its only redeeming quality at this point was a bug that made the marksman barrel secretly boost its headshot multiplier by 10%, but you needed all 3 to get a 3-shot kill like the BK-57 in 7.62 back then. This makes me believe that it was supposed to get a stopping power or large caliber attachment at some point, but was scrapped and forgotten about. 2022 was a more promising year for the HG. Our current recoil and damage values would be established, and its new body multipliers made its time to kill much more reliable, especially with a ridiculously high 60% extra headshot damage with marksman. 2023 was minor in comparison. Its chest and biceps were slightly improved. Its visual recoil and sound effects were later optimized. The most recent official change was a buff to its sprint out time. The biggest change was its marksman barrel bug was secretly fixed and no longer increased headshot damage. So, how is it after 5 years? It doesn't stand out statistically, but I very much enjoy using it. It's like if the LK24 was an SMG. Its most direct competition is with the PP-19 Bizon, one of the most beginner-friendly weapons that keeps getting buffs for whatever reason. Both can 3-shot up close. The HG40 has more range, but the Bizon's arm multipliers allow it to achieve its potential time to kill more reliably. The HG deals base damage to the legs, but the Bizon with large cal can match that, and its most recent buff removed its range penalty. Again, the Bizon has double the mag size and can still be a top 10 strafer. The HG only has a definitive advantage at long range or hip firing at point blank. A less one-sided competition is with the Razorback. The HG has the larger max mag size, steadier recoil, better iron sights, better time to kill at mid-range, better multipliers, and more 3-shot potential range. The Razorback generally has faster movement and reload times, and its higher base damage means that it can 3-shot more easily and has an infinite 5-shot range if you avoid leg shots. If we're judging base to base, it may be 50-50, but rapid fire gives the Razorback the edge. So what can we suggest for the HG to make it more relevant? Even though the current HG is more potent than it ever was, it's missing one thing from its golden age, and that's a bloom to match ARs. Second, a slight buff to its 3rd range damage and extend its 4-shot potential to compete with ARs and the Bizon. Third, the real MP40 may have had issues with its single feed mag, but our HG would benefit from reload cancelling slightly sooner. An interesting signature attachment would be its dual magazines from World at War. Vanguard and the Pack-a-Punched Afterburner also had 64 round mags. And last but not least, more blueprints that resemble a proper MP40 or the original HQ from Black Ops 3. You can even do a strongbox for the Advanced Warfare variants. But hey, that's just my opinion. This has been a Casual's quick guide. Feel free to suggest what weapons you want to see covered next. My name is On, and I'm off.